Honourable Maurice Williamson.
Mr Speaker, I'm delighted to take a call in the general debate today and to focus on only just one issue. Just the one issue, and that's the economy, and one particular phase to the economy, and it's called cyclical. Now, for those who haven't done mathematics, they won't know what a sine wave graph looks like, but let me explain. A sine wave graph is one that goes up, and then it goes down, and it goes up. And, Mr Speaker, the good news about having been in this parliament for as many years as I've been here, just about every industry you can name has been through those cyclical changes. I can remember vineyards, acres and acres of vineyards being ripped out because the wine industry was stuffed. And now the wine industry is exporting over $1 billion and just going for it gangbusters. Mr Speaker, I can remember the kiwi fruit industry, where there were times when the cycle for the kiwi fruit industry was so far in the toilet, everyone was panicking about should we even keep a kiwi fruit industry. Well, now I'm told by my colleague from the Bay of Plenty that the kiwi fruit industry is booming and going for it gangbusters again. Again, there is no other industry I can think of. I can tell you the dairy industry has been through amazing growths and amazing ups and fantastic returns for those involved, and now it's beginning to go through a small, I think quite small, downturn, although if you look at the global dairy trade numbers from last night with a 19% for whole milk product increase, it's probably only just a slight cyclical change rather than the genuine. But if you listen to the opposition, sir, they would have you believe the economy is in such a state there's a need to revert to a plan B. Well, this economy is as resilient as I have ever known it, and so many industries, from manufacturing, from ICT, whose exports have more than doubled in the last 5 years, from every other sector. I'll tell you one that I do know something about, having been the Minister of Building and Construction for 6 years, that industry goes through shocking cycles. Shocking cycles where there is times where there is almost no building going on, and right now, sir, it's booming like no one. In fact, the biggest difficulty in the building and construction sector is getting enough skilled, capable workforce to do the work that's required through both Canterbury, Auckland and elsewhere. So we've got to stop the crocodile tears. We've got to stop the nonsense the opposition put up. And so, actually, sir, I'm sorry, I actually held a thought. There is one cycle that defies gravity. There is one cycle I've thought about that defies gravity. Normally, oppositions, when they go into opposition, start to grow and get their vote back. And for the first time ever, an opposition has proved that you can fight against gravity, because Labor, in 3 terms of opposition, has seen their vote go down. So I have to say the cyclical theory I was just talking about applies to climate, certainly applies to the economy, but it actually doesn't any apply to Labor. And why? Because they pick on issues where they are so palpably in the wrong. Let me give you one that Chris Hipkins went to. Chris Hipkins got stuck into us today, into the government, about the amount of land that's been sold to foreigners. Sir, we are babes in the woods, the National Party, compared to Labor. We are total babes in the woods, because you've got to look at the numbers. In 1 year alone, under a Labor government, there were more hectares sold to foreigners than the cumulative of our first 5 years in office. Now, I don't get it. If it's fine for Labor when they're in office to have signed off on big forests and on farms across the board, and then when National gets in, we actually added 2 more clauses to the Overseas Investment Act. We added 2 more criteria than Labor. It was a lot easier to do when Labor were in. We made it tougher, and then, sir, they've got the cheek to come down to this house and say, oh, you're selling off land to foreigners. Well, they should hide their head in shame, because we, sir, are about half the level after our 8 years or 7 years now in office of what Labor sold when they were there. So where's the credibility? That's why they're polling where they are, sir. Absolutely no credibility when they run how evil it is to be selling to foreigners, and yet they did more than twice what the current National government's done, sir. I'm really proud of the way the Minister of Finance and others have run this economy, sir. It's resilient, it's booming, and there are many sectors that have never been so well. Our policy is we've never had it so good. Labor policy is they've never had it